20 years in legal education and 9 years as dean have taught me a few things about law students. One thing that's true about every law student I've ever taught is they all come to law school with a dream. Those dreams may be different. One student may want to be Attorney General one day. Another student may want to be Chief Justice of their state Supreme Court. They may want to be General Counsel of a company. They may want to be a managing partner of a major firm. They may want to be a partner of their own firm, a prosecutor, a public defender, the mayor in their hometown. Our goal is to match those dreams with the opportunities that we can create for them by being the nation's best return investment in legal education. What does that mean? That means training students for the opportunities that await them in the marketplace, in doing so at a reasonable cost. Right now at the University of Georgia Law School, nearly 50% of our student body are getting their legal education debt-free. At a time when many American families worry about the ever-spiraling costs of higher education debt, we aim not just to bend that arc, but to break it altogether, and thereby to redefine in 21st century what it means to be a great national public institution. But don't just take my word for it. I invite you now to hear from 3 of our students and how they're living their dreams today.
When someone says, "What's your background?" I always start with, "I'm from Baxley, Georgia," which that's just the heart of my story, where I was from. Growing up as a person of color in a predominantly rural community, it's really exposed me to some disparity. The most important was the Ahmaud Arbery issue that we had within my judicial circuit, the Brunswick Judicial Circuit. The Ahmaud Arbery case was instrumental in me knowing that I wanted to go into the field of law and one day go back to South Georgia and provide representation to all people, but especially to Black families and in Black communities.
I lost both of my grandparents within 12 hours of each other, and they both lived in the villages in northern New Mexico. And when I went back and I was at my paternal grandmother's funeral, I realized that a lot of the people in my generation had either left, like a brain drain, they had either died from overdosing, or were trying to chase dreams somewhere else. And I really love our culture and I really love our people, and I thought, I can't let this die. I have to do something to bring my legal education back and help this maintain and sustain. What UGA does is it gives you connection with the entire country. Coming here allowed me to have those connections, so when I go back, I can bring those resources and connections to northern New Mexico too. Then I'll be able to open up my community legal aid in Penasco, New Mexico, to try to give people basic legal services.
I was looking really for a school specifically with programming focused on domestic violence and wanted to develop the skill set and have the agency to make effective change. I knew I probably wanted to stay in the Southeast, but wanted the ability to kind of go anywhere in the country. I was interested in an affordable legal education, especially wanting to pursue a career in public interest law. And UGA, throughout the admissions process, really demonstrated that it checked all of those boxes in a very holistic and true and genuine way.
At UGA School of Law, you are getting a top-tier education for a very reasonable price. We have some of the highest bar passage rates, some of the best job placements, and that is all because of the resources that the school invests with its students.
Seeing the money and the resources here when I first got here, it's a little overwhelming, but when you realize it's here to help you, it's really empowering and a nice feeling to be that supported. Most people apply for clerkships at the beginning of their second year, but because I'm the first person in my family to do this law school thing, I procrastinated. And the summer of my second year, I had a moment where I thought, man, I need to find a job after I graduate. And I sent Laura Woodson in the Career Development Office an email frantically. Without her resources and her wisdom and her guidance, I would not have been able to make it happen.
My most monumental moment at UGA Law would be getting a clerkship. I'm so grateful for the professors at UGA who encouraged me to apply and who told me that this would be something that I would be able to do. At UGA Law, you will get a superior education from people who care about you. The professors care about you, and the deans, especially Dean Rutledge, cares about the students.
I have developed a really amazing relationship with the Family Justice Clinic director, Professor Christine Scart. She has been amazing in teaching me what it means to be an effective advocate, but she's also advocated for me. I have my full-time postgraduate job because of her. After I graduate, I'll continue in a full-time capacity as the director of the Justice for Incarcerated Survivors program at the Georgia Coalition Against Domestic Violence.
The fact that University of Georgia School of Law has a high place for right outside the state of Georgia, and the fact that I'm going to northern New Mexico after graduation by default shows me that it's not just a regional school, it's a national law school. And everywhere you get the same legal education, but what really separates law schools, in particular UGA Law, is the people that are around you orientation, the people that you take the classes with after graduation, the relationships you develop and then maintain.
Wholeheartedly agree with Jonah. He is one person that I think is a very close connection that I have. I think that is very much a standout for the UGA School of Law, is that you feel very connected to the people here, and it makes all the difference.
I think when I look back on my law school experience, it's been way more rich and fruitful and wonderful than I could have imagined it would have been when I was coming in. And I think the number one thing to which that is attributable is the people at UGA. I made like lifelong best friends in law school, and having your classmates be friends and be supportive of you, I think is really important to your ability to succeed in law school, but also making it 3 years that you really enjoy.